In this video, I'll show you how to create stills of frames in Premiere and how you can use effects and keyframes to kind of change the way effects are going to work. So this is my video of Mr. Bauer here. I have him green screen behind a background. And in this video, I've kind of clipped out a spot where Mr. Bauer says something controversial or just not smart that we want to take and draw attention to in our political attack ad. So here's what he says.
Banning things is a good idea.
So after he says this, basically I want to draw attention to him and freeze the video right at the end of him saying that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a still frame, or I'm going to export a frame. Now because we're using green screen and ultra key and some other effects, there's some like very specific steps you need to take for this to actually kind of turn out the way you want. So what you're going to do here is you're going to basically, I'm going to zoom in so it makes it a little easier. What you're going to do is actually turn off your background. So Mr. Bauer now is standing on black. All right, that's just because I turned off the eyeball on the video track with his background. The next thing I want to do is click on Mr. Bauer's track, and I actually want to I'm going to collapse all these effects that I have on here. And basically what I want to do is click the FX icon and turn off Ultra key. And I also want to turn off the crop so that I have this whole frame here. And this is the way that I want to create a still. So right here, I'm going to hold down Shift and snap right to the end. And I'm going to go back one frame with my mouse. So right here is where I want to freeze this. So I'm actually, like, if you click in here, you can use your mouse wheel to kind of scroll through the frame. 3 seconds is nothing, 229 is nothing, 228 is what I want. So now I'm going to click this export frame button right here. And you can give it a name, and it can be either a bitmap, a JPEG, or a PNG, or even a TIFF. But what really matters is that you import it into the project right here. So make sure that's checked. And when you do that, it will show up down here. Here is my frame that I just made. I'm going to drag this into my timeline, and now when I play this, it'll look like Mr. Bauer stops talking and he should freeze in place. And there he goes. So now I have my still. It's time to bring back my background. So I'm going to uncheck the eyeball. I'm going to actually drag this longer. This is a longer video, so I can bring it back here. All right, so now Mr. Bauer is going to be frozen on a moving background. And I'm going to bring back my Ultra key and crop on this piece of video. So I'm going to press the FX buttons over here to bring that back. So now what I have is Mr. Bauer talking, and then it freezes. I could go through and grab the effects like Ultra key and crop, and I could apply it to this and do it by hand. But the easier way to do it is to click on this one that's already been keyed, hit copy, and go to the picture that Mr. Bauer's on the green screen, my frozen one. Right click and hit paste attributes. And it's going to ask me, hey, what do you want to paste on here? And if you look, it's going to paste the effects, Ultra key and crop. And when I click OK, now I have frozen Mr. Bauer on a moving background, which is pretty nice. So that's a good way to make a still. Now I want to draw attention to this still. So basically what I have is this. I have this right here.
Banning things is a good idea.
And so what I want to do is like make Mr. Bauer look kind of evil and draw attention to him here. So black and white kind of gives you that mood of like evil or, you know, not cool Mr. Bauer. So what I want to do is I'm going to go over to my effects, and I already had it searched, but I'm going to search for tint. And I'm going to drag tint to my still. And you can do this with other effects too. I'm just using tint. But tint makes this black and white. And what I want to do is basically kind of gradually fade Mr. Bauer into black and white here. So what I can do here is I can go to the amount to tint. And anything with a stopwatch, we can use keyframes over here to kind of animate. So I'm going to go to the very beginning of the clip. And I'm going to press Shift so I snap right to it. And right here for the amount of tint, I want to create an animation. So I created a keyframe there. I'm going to change that to 0%. So he's in color. Now I'm going to scroll through this to maybe right here, maybe, I don't know, a 1.5 seconds in, and I'm going to say, set a keyframe there, but turn the tint to 100%. And just like in After Effects, the program will figure out how much to tint it in between. So now when I press spacebar, and we'll go right here, Mr. Bauer fades to black and white. And if he doesn't fade fast enough, I can move the keyframe over. So he fades to black and white a lot faster, right here. Or if I want him to fade slower, I can move the keyframe all the way here. And that'll take a long time for him to fade. But he'll fade to black and white right there. So with any effect that has this little animate or toggle animation icon here, you can add keyframes to kind of control how all of this is going to look. So in this video, I showed you how to control effects with animation keyframes and how to create a still.